Hello, I'm Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You watch my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop RPGs with friends. This may not be on my YouTube channel. I just can't get out of, I can't break habits. I'm the overlord because we are playing Star Wars Saturdays, and the game du jour is Fellowship. We're going to be running this as a quarterly, so end of January all the way out through actually peeking into April. Very excited for a campaign lightly. I know you more traditional or conventional style games would be like 3 months. I've just like made two levels. Fuck you. But for us PBTA players, this is an extensive amount of time spent in one game.
Oh yeah.
Because yeah. So we have created characters. This is a Star Wars flavored version of the game Fellowship. And from Liberi Gothica, I believe is the name of the imprint that has 4 books. And this is a game I'm gonna do my best at. Uh, we're all gonna do our best at, so that's pretty exciting. We have characters created, and now we are going to introduce them to each other for the first time, ask some questions, and then work through bonds. Then the rebellion, because this is a using the Fellowship in Rebellion. Then we will make choices about the ship that the crew has access to, and we'll probably pass out after that. I think it's going to be a lot of work, but you guys have to do it. I don't. So let's start from the right hand side of the character keeper, heading towards the left, which means Greg, you get to go first. I volunteered you.
I have been voluntold. Hey, I'm Greg, he, him pronouns. I'm playing Zop Books. Zop Books is a returning character from other Star Wars Saturday games. Um, there's a lot of empty space there though, so we'll fit in people as we need to. Zop was a bounty hunter, is a bounty hunter, kind of known for taking bounties on other members of his crew. Not a very good bounty hunter. Has some past with the clones, has some past with the Jedi. Um, he is missing an arm, which got cut off, I'm pretty sure, by his own vibro sword. Um, I've taken, let's
Pretty
see.
sure someone else was wielding the sword, though.
Yes. Oh, yes. Someone else
Okay,
had that
just
sword.
want to
Took
give you
my
that
sword,
out.
cut off my arm, and yeah. Just to highlight a couple things, mostly for Tyler. Hi, Tyler. Um, so I took the sort of options that are very simple. I took Ben around a bit, which adds some extra options for me in gear, and Bloodhound, which is very much the bounty hunter move. Um, we lost K again. Um, basically, I reflavored a couple of them. So the ability to smash through walls, I took an arm of Durasteel. And then my armor is ceremonial armor from my clan. They don't like me very much right now. Welcome back, Kay. Uh let's see. I think that's mostly it.
Did you mark down your clan name of Tanwa somewhere? I just want to make.
Tenwa. Yeah, it's the Tenwa. Tenwa.
I thought it was Tanwa.
I think the
Tan.
Tanwa clan is an Ewok clan that Steven made. Or possibly
Oh,
a Jawa clan. No?
oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Tenwa. I'll look it up. I'll find it in the old character keepers. Yeah, and Zop also loves Rhodian blood opera. That's another little thing about him. He has produced a Rhodian blood opera, and it was an absolute flop. So
A flop by Zop.
a flop by Zop.
Wow.
Yep. All right.
Someday you'll top. No,
Wow.
no, it's not better. Hey, Kay, welcome back. Hope you don't have more
Hey.
tech issues. I apologize for you
Why are
dropping.
you apologizing?
I
Not your
don't
fault.
know. That was weird. I'm
Don't.
part Canadian. I don't know where that came from.
I
Hey,
don't.
welcome. Please introduce yourself. Tell
Ooh.
us about your character.
Yes, I'm Kay of the She and They Variety, and I'll be playing Darren von Warlock, the Air Playbook. Warlock, his home planet, has recently, despite, kind of very peacefully doing its own thing, not really interested in much else going on, Zinj has recently, in air quotes, depending on your idea, recently has come into play, done some not great things, and Darren boldly made the choice. This meant that he needed to adventure outwards and go out and deal with what is now plaguing his or no isn't actually plaguing, but is kind of just did some not great stuff because his home planet's totally fine. Where he's from and deal with that in judge, jury, and executioner style by making them pay for their crimes. He is a bit of a petulant hothead, despite the teachings of his people, which really oppose sort of behaviors, but as you do. He has come here with an agenda, and in addition to that agenda, he also has a Wookiee bodyguard named Chirdol, who owes him a life debt and is his best bud. As unfortunately as well with an advisor, Versi Diamond, who is supposed to help him conduct himself like a proper little royal. But YOLO.
Tell me a little bit about Versi Diamond.
Yeah, so I think Versi Diamond is like the epitome of grace. Is very thoughtful and sort of like almost like a bit of an etiquette teacher on steroids. But the thing that at least Darren hasn't seen in like all good films, where like they have that advisor or that person who's leading them who seems like so stoic and so boring, but then suddenly they're in a tough situation and they're a badass. But Darren doesn't know about the badass part yet. Right now, he's just like, this is my very stuffy teacher that expects me to behave a certain way and to act, as a royal and trying to teach me how to conduct myself with grace and not just immediately sort of fly off the handle, which has sort of been what I've grown into the last few years after a simmering, burning rage has started within me at the murder of my parents by Zinj.
Ah. Interesting. And then what's the general vibe you have for Chirdal?
So I don't, as mentioned in other series, Kay doesn't know Star Wars. But I think it's kind of like, sort of like buds kind of vibes. Like we horse around with each other. But he probably views me as like a youngling, in a sense. So it's like, I'm like, yeah, let's fight to an extent and mess around and test each other's strengths. And he's like, oh, this is really cute. Like little you doing this. And I'm just gonna, play along with you. But at the same time, he owes a life debt to me from when I saved him when he, I saved him in some monotonous way that maybe we wouldn't think of as saving, but I saved him. And he now owes me a life debt, and my sister has essentially entrusted, you know what? He might not even owe me the life debt. Maybe he owes it to my sister, who is home ruling our planet.
Ooh,
And
that's
she has-
super interesting.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think he owes the life debt not to me, to my sister, who's ruling the planet. And is, her desire is to then have him go and protect, or have Chirdol go and protect Darren.
Delightful. That's great.
Yeah.
Do you imagine that Darren speaks Wookiee or just understands? Well, no. Does Darren understand Wookiee?
I think he does, and I think that's part of the whole like the stillness kind of vibe.
Cool.
Please, Rich. It's called Shriwook. We know this.
Shriwook, yeah.
Thank you, Cody. I very much appreciate
But
that.
I think he understands it in a way that someone who sometimes speaks Spanglish, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's definitely not like fully conversational.
He gets
but
the important bits.
But he gets the important bit. He gets the important bits and can hear it well, can't speak it well. So like Chirdol, I think, like, gets it. Like, but like if he were trying to speak to other Wookiees, like, nah.
Nah, bro, nah.
Nah, bro, nah. Like Chirdol understands my bastardization of his poor language. Because we've just been around long enough. But that, and then this is an idea I had, and Rich can swiftly shoot this down if he thinks it's a bad idea.
Okay.
But I think the closest approximation of sort of races that we know in Star Wars that I was thinking of, because he's his own peoples and races, is sort of similar to like the Zeltron. I think there's like a light pallid like tan to the skin, and I think when they get sort of really angry or like really strong emotions, I think
Mhm.
it like their skin goes gold, like it's
Ooh,
a
interesting.
golden. That's
Okay.
like similar to the color that I put on the little planet. So like they're a golden people,
Aw,
and
I like
usually
it.
like, there's a whole thing about how um to not like do not be zealous and do not go give into your gold, because you're supposed to be kind of like wise and even tempered as a people.
Ooh, nice phrase. I like that. Gives us some.
Um
You're telling us of your people. Thank you. That's
yeah,
great.
and so but yeah, Darren's been bad about that lately.
Is he the little golden boy?
Yeah, he's been a little golden boy. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Oh, should I mention what moves I took? Is that a thing that we're doing? Or
Yeah, talk a little bit about the stuff you can do.
speaking of little golden boys, and how dare you? When someone insults you to your face, you may choose to lash out or remain stoic. So, like these people, you should remain stoic and lash out. And then, depending on how you lash out, with either blood or grace, so weapon or tongue, you get to finish them with these things. Or if you remain stoic, ask 2 questions from the look closely list without rolling. Their outburst tells you everything. I do not like that picture, Rich.
You don't like you don't like that picture?
I do not. Its hair is not suave enough.
Okay. No problem.
I love you, Rich. Sorry. And then
Okay.
long live the queen. Whenever someone else rolls to overcome harm you would suffer, they are filled with hope for their role. You may always have companions take harm for you if they are within arm's reach, even if you are not aware of the incoming harm.
That's wild.
Yeah. And he has a long historied Beskar blade, a Mandalorian blade that people probably want.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
They'll never get it though.
They'll never
Never.
get it. No, no,
Never.
no.
Never.
No, no,
Never
no.
gonna get it. Never gonna get it.
Never
Cool.
gonna get it. Never gonna get it. All right. I've definitely taken up way too much time talking about this young man.
Steven, you are up next. Please introduce yourself. Tell us about your character friend.
Hi, my name is Steven. My pronouns are he, him. I'm playing Nanta, whose pronouns are also he, him. Nanta is an Ewok using the Halfling playbook. The theme here is playfulness, eating food, and a little bit of violence. So let's see. The core moves for the Ewok are sting like a bee and little folk. They get courage and can do sneaky things if they roll with courage, like uh do something without people noticing. Sting like a bee is whenever I keep them busy, which is another basic move. I can also either get them to chase me and run off and exit the scene, or I can take something from them or notice something during that time. Um, the moves that I took are bottomless belly, which is whenever I fill my belly in order to heal, I can use as much food as I like instead of just one, and heal an equal amount of damage. And anyone who wants to compete with me can also do that. So a lot of my items are food and stuff like that. And then I also chose half a halfling, which is the ability to take another playbook move, and I took the orc move brutally cunning, which I renamed to murder bear. When you strike an enemy from ambush, you may kill them. This does not work against a threat to the world. The items I took, other than food, I took a companion. My companion is R0, who is Ro, who is a protocol droid that can translate for me. And so I picture that Nanta joined the rebellion directly after Endor, wanted to explore the night sky, didn't know a lot about it, but was able to probably snuck on board a rebellion ship and then was kind of adopted by them. Um, and went on miscellaneous adventures throughout the uh aftermath of the destruction of the second Death Star. Um, and then ended up with the rest of y'all, opposing Warlord Zinj, who is the evil empire.
He is quite evil and quite imperial. That's great. Um, we'll have to think about how Ro and dang it, I've already forgotten the Verzi, how Ro and Verzi are similar and how they are not. Just because I think they both have similar roles. I imagine, Steven, you'll be speaking for Ro most of the time then?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
What I imagine is I just wanted to make it easy so no one, I didn't have to talk in Ewokese or something like that. So whatever, Nanta speaks, it'll be Ro translating for them. And the other thing is it might be a little weird to have just this little stubby guy walking around into places. So I imagine that Ro is sort of a nanny or a companion who can walk around, and I think Nanta will like hold Ro's hand, and everybody will go, "Oh, it's a child, right? It's a child with a cloak wandering around. That's why they're okay in the cantina or somewhere else."
Nice.
That's what I pictured. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Does Nanta realize everyone thinks Nanta is cute and adorable? Or is Nanta guileless and unaware that you're seen as a child?
I think Nanta doesn't think it's cute or adorable, thinks he's dismissed as being, unimportant.
Cool.
They probably squeal and they're like, this is the way they treat children everywhere, and I'm not a child.
Got it. Cool. Thank you. Anyone else have questions for Nanta? I didn't ask that for Darren or Zop. I apologize. Okay. Round us out, Cody.
Yeah. So I'm playing Orin. He is a Jedi, the Jedi playbook. I have chosen the Jedi custom moves of Way with Words. When I speak softly with someone who admires or fears me, I can roll grace instead of wisdom. And Poetry in Motion. When you get away, you may choose an extra option from the list, even on a 6, a 6 minus, I should say. Oren he's probably early or mid 50s. He is a Jedi of the former Jedi Order. In the prequel era, he kind of took a new path as a way seeker, something ancient Jedi used to do when they felt like their place wasn't within the Order, but still wanted to kind of hold themselves to that. And as a result, spent a lot of time on the Outer Rim, spent a lot of time, maybe even took a trip to the unknown regions. He has been around for a long time, and in that quest, he has always followed the Force, because where he goes is where the Force is guiding him to learn the next thing. As you can see by my wonderful photoshopping, and by that I don't mean it's wonderful or photoshopping. Oron has some tattered up robes. He has oh, you've shared the I was about to scroll down and you shared it. Available to him. Go ahead.
Do you want me to share again? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
The gear he has rations. He has, some light old Jedi armor that's in terrible condition. He has a lightsaber, which Rich, I think his lightsaber, I think it's old and not well maintained at this point. I think his blade crackles. He also has a bottle of alien elven wine that does some healing. And the biggest thing is, of course, his Lothwolf Freya. He, in this way-seeking process, he's come across other beings on his journey. And one of the more recent ones, or at least, recent for him, it's probably been several years at this point, is this adolescent Lothwolf. Lothwolves, of course, have an innate connection to the Force themselves. And she is his hunting companion. Of course, he doesn't do much hunting so much as seeking. And that's probably all you need to know. At this point, he's found himself in Zinja's empire because the Force has been guiding him to here. And we'll find out with the bonds, I think, what the cause has been. But so he's kind of a Jedi out of practice, but is feeling compelled to make his presence known.
That's dope. That's great. I really like it. Excellent. This crew is wonderful, and I can't wait to see how it is that you guys interoperate. So let's circle back around to Greg or Zop. Zop, you have some bonds. Do we want to do one, or do we want to do all of them for each?
Let's do 1-1-1 because I think some of
Yeah.
them probably have similar layovers, and it's like, well, if one person does all of theirs, maybe it might,
Okay, sounds good.
Fringe.
So pick a bond that you feel strongly about, and either offer it up to the group or suggest it to someone if you think they are appropriate.
I'm leaning towards I cannot help but respect Oron. Zop has a history with the Jedi and lost his former lover, who was a Jedi. And so I respect the abilities of the Jedi. Does that make sense?
Love it.
Okay.
Greg, you're just telling me, hey, I'm going to respect you. Yeah, I love the bond. Tell me more.
Tell me how awesome my character is, please.
Yeah, no, I think there's also a bit of respect because the Jedi fight hand to hand, and that's how Zop prefers to fight as well. And I respect your sword play. And I don't know, perhaps we even duel on occasion.
Definitely. I can see, like I said, Oren's out of practice. So if Zop is like, hey, you need to do this, I think Zop kind of hands it to him regularly. But Oren is like, all right, it's been a while,
Nice.
I think this is great because I don't know if Cody, I don't think you've ever played in a Star Wars Saturdays with Zop.
I have. Yep.
Oh,
I think I've played
really?
a couple times. Maybe
So I was about to say I don't recall
we
the
did the
dice ever agreed
the-
with your opinion of Zop's abilities, but that's
Oh,
awesome.
Okay, so I'm putting I cannot help but respect Oron. We duel on occasion. He's improving.
perfect.
Nice. That's great.
Cool. And that's just is there a value to bonds? Like just one?
No,
No.
they just
Okay.
you can have multiple bonds, and once you have 3 bonds with someone, then you have the ability to share
okay.
moves.
Okay, I think we're good on money then.
Excellent. Darren, do you have a bond you would like to offer to others?
I do. I prefer to work with work in quotations because he doesn't mean work, he means fight. With blank when I can. And by fight, I mean like fight as in like fight by side, not like fight with each other. I think Darren respectfully is both awed by and like slightly enamored, but in like a sort of like mild hero way with like Nanta. I think you're just like a violent little badass. And that's the coolest thing ever to this guy. He also feels the primal rage of savagery and murder in his heart, and so do you.
Sounds good.
Wild. Nanta, do you have a bond you would like to offer?
I do, and it's interesting. Okay, I think Darren enjoys the finer things in life, and
He
this is
does.
foreign and soft to me.
Oh, that's funny. So like Darren has this pointed like, oh, this is a cool relationship map thing of Nanta thinks, oh, Darren is a soft boy, and Darren thinks, oh, Nanta's a soft boy.
No, Darren doesn't think Nanta has like exterior soft and fluffy, but is murder and rage and death inside, and I wish to also harness that level of murder, rage, and death.
That's great. And then Oron, do you have a bond you'd like to offer up?
Yeah, I think the first one that's going to be on offer is I have taught blank the ways of Elven blank. And based on what we're seeing with character creation, I think Oren has perhaps started to teach Darren the ways of Jedi sensitivity.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, just so we're clear, each player fills in however many bonds their playbook says they start with the names of anyone you know, other PCs, companions, or possibly even the Overlord, just so we're
Oh.
clear on bonds.
Real quick follow up on that. So I took a follower and I gained 1 bond with them. Is
Mhm.
that in addition?
I think it has to be, because I have a bunch of companions options that would be 2
Yeah.
bond, and then that would mean I have no other bonds. So I think
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
and on the character sheet, you start with 4 bonds with the other members of the fellowship. So okay, cool.
yeah, but the fellowship itself can be made of more than just the PCs, is what we're just saying, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes. Cool. So Oron, you have taught Darren the ways of Jedi sensitivity. That is spooky. Back. Do we want to do snake order, or do
yeah,
we
let's
want to
snake draft it.
All right, Nanta, another bond, please.
Actually, Oren would get a second bond.
Oh, true.
In
Snake
a
order.
true
Yes.
snake draft, yes.
True snake draft. Oren, do your second. Thank you.
I
very
think
much.
knowing that I think knowing what Steven's coming up with later for a bond, I think this one works for me. I have trusted blank with the truth about me. I think I have trusted Nanta the truth about who I am and what I've kind of seen. I think Nanta as an Ewok is similar to other peoples that Oron has dealt with. And so he kind of sees in him, he respects, he understands that Nanta's not some childlike being, but a ruthless killer. But in their time together, Oron has kind of, when the other party can't speak back as rapidly as Oron is, maybe you kind of overshare. And I think Oron has talked to Nanta like that.
Well, what is the secret of
Oh.
what you are and where you?
Yeah,
where you...
I think the secret, that's interesting. Because my first thought was that he's a Jedi, but actually that kind of isn't a secret for the party. It's a secret for the world, but not really the party. So
You want to find that out during play?
maybe, yeah, we'll make that kind of nebulous. I think maybe what the secret of me is.
May I make a suggestion?
You absolutely can, Stephen.
So you spent some time away from the Jedi Order doing other things. You could make it either a secret about what you were doing, or you could say while you were gone from the Jedi Order, you're concerned that you've lost your connection to the Force. And maybe that's why you're not as powerful as you used to be.
Ooh.
I think the secret of who I am is in fact, so I have trusted blank with the truth about me. The truth about me that Nanta knows is that I have a family.
Ooh. That's good.
That's really good. That's really, really good. And I just made a realization. Nanta's first exposure to a Jedi would have been on the Force Moon of Endor with Luke and Leia, but Luke showing powers. So that's an interesting first impression to run into Oron with his crackly lightsaber. Good stuff. That is juicy. Oh man, that is verboten. Now I'm just milestone. Want to know if family drove away or found family on his walk around. Don't answer it now. Nanta, what is the next bond?
Yeah, I'll skip to the one alluded to by Oron and say I will never lie to Oron. And I'm gonna, add on the flavor of because I think he'll know.
That's good. That's juicy. I like that.
That's good. And then Darren, your next bond.
I think I have Zop's shamanistic ways remind me of home despite the ways remind me despite the differences in our understanding of like that sort of power.
Cool.
Okay. What have you seen Zop do?
Yeah.
I think I saw you doing like a sort of seance.
Mm-hmm.
with a I think I saw you do a seance with this just like broken piece of like clay that at first I didn't realize what it was, but then it sort of became clear that it used to be part of a dwelling of some kind.
Okay. Yeah, I like
And
that.
yeah, and it was clear that you were garnering some kind of communication or understanding of it through your seance, which reminded me of the stillness of home.
Nice.
Neat.
I'm ready for my next one.
Do it,
Zob.
next one, next two.
Okay. I
Good
have
snake.
destroyed something that Darren loved. and
Oh,
I seek
Jesus.
their forgiveness. What did I destroy? Because that part I don't have ready.
Yeah, what did you destroy?
And it doesn't have to
Oh,
be like, it could be like a sense
I
of calm. Yeah.
I think I didn't just have a Beskar blade, but also a sort of shield,
Whoa.
and I think you destroyed it.
Ooh.
Dang, how did you destroy a Beskar shield? What in the world did you do? Because that's awesome.
So I was thinking it would have been by accident, but that would be hard to do.
Yeah, it was like a child's shield, so it was probably starting to get a little too small on Darren anyway, but still.
Oh, it
If
was a
that's not
child's shield? That's interesting. That's just so much about your planet.
Is it destroyed or is it
Well, so
lost?
Yeah, I was thinking lost.
maybe it's
But
lost,
is it,
and
if you're okay with that, I lost it. Like, did you entrust
yeah,
me with it and I have misplaced it?
yeah, I think it's lost, and I think
Oh, it
I
didn't
did
sell
not
it?
trust you with it. I think I stepped away from where I had left it thinking it was fine, and now it's gone. And real quick, I think child shields definitely not a thing about from Varlock. I think there was a Mandalorian ended up on the planet, was super injured, we saved him. The sword was his sword, but he had some Beskar and I guess used it to form a child shield.
Wow.
So I think child soldiers definitely not a thing on this
Okay.
planet of Warlock. But that was like a gift from this mantle.
Okay. I have lost.
Yeah, you have misplaced. As Zop would phrase it, I'm sure.
You said something about selling. Did you sell it, Zop?
Totally not sold. Totally.
Totally
No.
not. Okay.
Totally not.
Totally not. Totally not. Totally not.
Nope.
Oh, I may kill you. It's fine. I may go gold.
Why would you sell it? It keeps saying it's priceless. One of a kind.
I love it. Do I go second again, right?
You
I go
do.
two. All right. Just to round out my relationships, Nanta seeks power like mine, but is not yet ready.
Mm.
And I think that I think that's sort of like, it's not a like Nanta's not capable kind of thought. I think that and tell me if I'm wrong here, like is Nanta interested in like bounty hunting? Or like the greater like hunting of, because you like you ambush and all that. So
Hunting 100%. Like,
okay.
Great game that you have caught. Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. So maybe it's something slightly lost in translation with Zop too. But I think Zop also wants to sort of keep Nanta from that world. That perhaps sees the danger, having been down that road himself. So it's it's not that you're not ready. It is that you're not ready, but it's also that like I don't want that for you.
I see.
Delightful. We're circling back on the snake for Darren.
Yeah, quick question. Should we consider Tyler's character in all of this or no?
Yes. He will be developing bonds. If you want to save one, like feel free.
Yeah, I was gonna
Okay.
say, is the Nemesis a part of the Fellowship?
The Nemesis, no, but
Because if not, then these bonds can stay separate from Tyler because these are Fellowship bonds.
that's true. Although the Fellowship bonds are also taken with companions. Uh, if we have to rejigger stuff when Tyler shows, then we can. If you've got bonds you definitely want to point at other PCs, do it. If you're like, I could save one, then save it. Sorry, it's a
Okay.
very vague answer. Is that okay?
No, that's fair. That's totally fair. Really quick, what kind of Cody, what kind of bearing does Oron have? How does he comport himself?
Yeah, he is a he's older, he's experienced. He kind of had, if you didn't already have an advisor, he would be filling that role. He would be coming much more overt with like advice. He's not necessarily brash, he's not overly kind of courageous or jumping to action. He's much more of a, let's wait and see, let's think this through. But he's a teacher. I think, think of him as a wiser teacher, and that would kind of fit the bill. But the kind of teacher who has like tattoos on his arms, you're like, that guy's lived a life. Like,
yeah,
his knuckles say some crazy stuff,
So I think the bond is something like, I wish Oron would like show me a more feral side of himself.
Interesting. Darren's trying to pull me to the dark side, and Oren's trying to pull him to the light.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, because I think he doesn't even have like because his planet is so far removed. I don't even think he has a concept of the dark and the light in his mind. It's just like not a thing. And he's just like, but wait, you have these tattoos. What cool shit were you doing? Talk about the cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We're gonna have to speed up a little bit, so let's go on to Nanta. Do you have another bond?
I do have another bond. One of these days I'll be as good at this adventuring business as Zop.
Ah, great. And then go back to the other end of Oron, the wonderful Jedi not master.
Yeah, so my last two, since it's snake draft style, I have absolute faith in Zop's abilities. He's bested me, he's teaching me, he knows what he's doing. Zop is a killer, and I believe it. And then my last one is, because of Versi Diamond, I have changed as a person.
Ooh, that's spicy and I love it.
Good stuff. Cool. Then we'll circle back to Nanta.
I think so. I'm going to put in, I have mesmerized Churdal with my stories.
A bond with a companion, not even your own. Delightful.
No, they both have bonds with my companions. I love it.
Oh man, you have very juicy companions.
I did try to set that up.
That's cool. That's super cool. Okay. Darren.
I'm gonna put this in and I can change this later if we like, but I think I find myself continually drawn to blank despite my better judgment. Which I think is the Tyler character. If that's okay, and I could change
that's good.
That's so good.
Hey, what are you doing?
You're already playing with the darkness, and there it is. That's
Darren
good.
doesn't but like I think I wrote it on my thing where I was like, I wish Oron would show me more of this feral powerfully without so much of this preamble about light and dark. That all seems meaningless to me.
Nice.
He doesn't get that. He doesn't understand. He doesn't have the history.
Zop, do you have any left?
I have two. So I know the smell of Nemesis, Chevalsa. That's gonna be, I think, Tyler's character. I was peeking. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
So yeah, I know the smell of Chevalsa anywhere. And then I do have a bond with my companion. Little Falkine is what I have named the parasite. Little Falkeen and I used to fight all the time, but we can't remember why. I think we've
That's
mutually
so
wiped each
good.
other's memories.
That's so good.
That is messed up. Weird, weird. And I am here for it. This sounds great. Good. Then we're snake ordering. Anybody have any more bonds? I'll just open it
Yeah,
up.
should I do my 2 bonds with my companions here also?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, so I think this is sort of one of the obvious ones, which is Cherdol would give his life for mine.
Nice.
Is an elected Wookiee bodyguard.
I've realized that we're gonna have to. You're gonna need to share me that head piece, or unless I did that. I don't think I did that. Did I? The head pick of your Ewok, because every time we move stuff around, it keeps popping and bouncing around on my screen. I'd like to embed it.
Oh, okay. If you just want to put a URL someplace, I'll a tag for a URL. I can do it. I'll send it to you.
Okay, cool. Did you have any more for Nanta?
I have 2 bonds with my droid, but I mean they're just bonds. I think they're generic.
Okay. And then Oron, did you have any more, Cody? Or you said your last 2 a second ago. I'd like to get through the rebellion before our time is up. Let us see if we can do that. Okay, ending the Empire's reign. Just put that up there. Your rebellion. You have an agenda. There are 3 agenda types: institute anarchy, protect the commons, or unionize. Unionize is least interesting to me, but maybe you could make it work. I'm sure someone wants to choose it just to spite me, but I would at least say, hey, that seems weird for Star Wars, but
Yeah.
I think I'm most interested in Protect the Commons. That seems the most Star Warsy of the options when I read them, because
Yeah.
Chaos is just like, we're just gonna destroy it and bring it all down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
protect the commons
Yeah.
seems like the Star Warsy way. It may not be a Darren way, but you guys can discuss that. Cool. Okay, so protect the commons. That is the thing. Boom, and I will resize that so it doesn't look weird. All right. Who's your rebel leader? Or is there, well, let's do what is the rebellion first, because one of the choices for what is the rebellion is in Fellowship, and if so, then there's no NPC rebel leader. So the rebellion, guerrilla troopers, your rebellion is well trained and especially destructive. Rebels have a maximum forces of 12. And in addition, you can spend force anytime to launch an ambush. Insurgents and insiders, made up of the Empire's own troops and workers. You can get extra intel. Popular support. Nobody likes the Empire, and your rebellion has allies everywhere. You have a maximum health of 12, and when you gain health, you gain twice as much health. And then in Fellowship, you do not have, Rebellion does not have its own leader. The leader is the Fellowship itself, meaning your PCs. Remove the rebel leader from the playbook. When you give a companion to the rebellion, they gain additional health. What are you guys feeling about it?
I like either popular support or insurgents and insiders.
And I would say I like guerrilla troopers or popular support. Greg,
Okay.
Kay?
I like popular support. Honestly, I think if that seems to be the common thread amongst people's likes, I'm happy with that one.
Yeah, I'm good with popular support.
Okay, cool. I'll fill out the D. That means you need a rebel leader.
Is it crazy to have one of the actual rebel leaders as our rebel leader?
It's not crazy to me. The
What
rebellion has a leader.
what
and
plate
keeps
is
them
the
small.
rebel leader? Is the rebel leader going to be off screen all the time, or is this someone we're going to be interacting with as an NPC often?
I think it is someone you will interact with, because the leader is somebody that could be killed or captured. And if so, then they can't spend force intel or gain health until a new leader is put in charge. So we can start with a canon rebel if folks are into that. That said, that means you guys may want to reevaluate your bonds, maybe, or you can develop new bonds. That's totally cool. But I just wanted to throw that out there.
I see what you're saying. I'll just offer this. I believe in canon or in the expanded universe, Han Solo was kind of the guy who butted heads with Zinj the most
Oh,
when
he
he
is.
showed
He's
up.
somebody who was what killed Singe.
So I'm just saying, like, hey, I don't know, man. Yeah, it'd be fun to have Han around, I
Let me
guess.
so let me toss this one out. How about Captain Rex, who was in Return of the Jedi?
That's another possibility. Yeah.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, those are both
I mean,
good.
we don't know anything about those. We know Han Solo's stuff going forward, sort of. We don't know anything about Rex. We could also pick other. It could be someone like
I think
the
who
Mon
rebel
Calamari
leaders have been from
general.
Star Wars Saturdays too.
Admiral Akbar, Stephen, is the.
Yeah, Admiral Akbar, or it could be Mon Mothma.
I think I like it being not maybe not Mon Mothma because at this point, right, they're like, oh, we're forming up our republic.
She got a lot of
So having somebody who's a little bit more in the mix, being like, all right, I'm leading the push on this empire. You know what I should have suggested right away, just to be a real jerk, has been like, let me go back through all of my own Star Wars Saturday characters and be like, he's the one leading it, he's taking them down.
That's funny. Cool. So we have what are our top? We have Captain Rex, who's a clone and he's aging fast. Who I'm pretty sure is going to be in Ahsoka season 2, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll make it.
What other options were grabby for folks?
Han Solo, just because, but
Yeah,
I don't think he's as grabby.
Well, he left Leia at some point because
Not
they
yet.
had a falling
We're
out.
still getting in the mix.
All right. So with popular support, that does change. Let's see.
Health.
Yeah, you have a maximum health of 12. Spend 2 health, find save. So I'll put those. That sounds great. Is there any other choices? I think that's it, right? I don't think you start with any moves above your stuff. You have 2 in forces, 2 in intel, 2 in health. And those are all the rebellion starts, rebellion moves. Oh, let's see. Rebellion earn fellowship while you have a rebellion. You can gain new moves, but for now you don't start with any. So that's good. We got that done. We'll need to figure out a base of operations. The rebellion initially has 1 base of operations, a city or community from which they can use their full potential. The fellowship can safely meet with the rebellion within this base without difficulty. And the Empire or Overlord's forces within the base are closely monitored at all times. In addition, you can spend forces or intel at any time within a base for full benefit. And then making contact. But that's what you start with. So just think about where we want the base of operations to be when we start, but we can talk about that in the intervening week. And we are right at time. And I know some folks had to go. So that's the introduction of characters. We still have to do the ship, but we can also start play next week or integrate Tyler and Tyler's character, start play, and then break out some time to do the ship, because I think that we will not start off with you on the ship, so it doesn't matter. Thank you all so much for being so giving and patient, and I'm excited about next week. So with that, we'll stop the recording here.